I opened my YouTube channel in 2015. I was on and off, and then I did absolutely nothing with it for about 10 years. 10 years, y'all. That channel sat there like a treadmill with clothes hanging on it. Every so often, I'd walk past it. I felt bad, buy another course about starting YouTube, and then nothing. I park it again. And I need you to know it wasn't laziness because I wanted it so bad. Something specific kept stopping me, and I didn't have the words for it back then, but now I do. You might know how this story ends. This year alone, I've published over 300 videos. I've posted over 200 days in a row. YouTube didn't pay me a single dime until video 164. But this channel is monetized now and is growing every single day. So the question is, what changed? What took a woman from 10 years of an empty channel to over 200 videos in one? Just one idea, one borrowed idea that fixed the exact problem that I hear all the time on my comments. I want to start a YouTube channel, but I don't know what to talk about. If that's you, this video is going to hand you the answer. And I mean, all of you, beginners get one door, experts get one question, and both of them unlock about 100 videos. Plus, before we're done, I'll tell you the thing Gary Vaynerchuk said to me that I have not stopped thinking about since. So stay with me. Here's what kept stopping me. And I'd bet my good tripod it's what's stopping some of you. Every course that I bought, every video I watched about starting YouTube, it was secretly written for a different person. It was written for experts. Think about the advice that they all give you. Know your niche, speak to your ideal audience, share your expertise. Now, if you're an accountant who's been serving small business owners for about 15 years, that advice fits you like a tailored suit because you have a niche, you have expertise. You just need help bringing it online. Wonderful. Go with God. But what if that's not you? What if you're multi-passionate with 4 different ideas fighting the front seat of your brain? What if you're learning, exploring, making mistakes, still figuring out your thing? You take the same advice, know your niche, and it doesn't guide you. It slams the brakes because now you're standing there asking, well, which niche? Which expertise? Where do I even start? And you close the laptop again for, oh, I don't know, 10 years, hypothetically. And here's what I finally understood. The information wasn't bad. The information wasn't for me. It was written for people at the finish line, but it was handed to people at the starting line. So nobody was making the version for learners, the explorers, the figuring outers. And that gap, it almost kept my face off this platform forever. So hold on to this line because it's the whole video. You don't start at the finale. You start at season 1. Let me tell you where the idea came from because I did not invent it. I borrowed it from television. Think about how a great series work. When you meet a character in season 1, they are not finished. That's the whole point. My favorite character in all of television is Arya from Game of Thrones. When we meet her, she's a little girl refusing to be a princess, wanting to hold swords like the boys. And across 8 seasons, we watch her become who she was always meant to be. That's why we watch, not for the finished person, for the becoming. Now, hear this. Nobody watches a series that starts at the finale. But that's exactly what I was trying to do with YouTube, waiting until I was finished, polished, expert certified before I let anybody see episode 1. I even bought the books that all the gurus say they read, books they had read over decades, by the way. And I gave myself generously 1 year to read them all. Girl, 1 year? I realized real quick that waiting to become an expert was just quitting in a nicer outfit. Then I saw a couple online, Northbound Labs, and they flipped the light on for me. Both of them laid off around the same time with a mortgage and 2 kids. And instead of crawling back to corporate, they bet on themselves and build their business around the journey itself, documenting it, what they're trying, what's working, what's flopping. Their season 1 was the content. And I thought about another woman, the 6-figure chick, may she rest in peace. She took courses from all the big names and still decided to build a lane of her own. And my own mentor, who builds her own lane too. And something clicked so loud that I almost heard it. So in January 1st, I rebooted that dusty 2015 channel, not as an expert, but as a woman starting over at 50 years old, learning out loud, my season 1. And you already know what happened next because you're watching it. So now let me turn this into a system that you can use, whether you're a beginner or a certified expert, because it's only 4 moves. Move number 1, if you're not an expert yet, stop looking for a niche and pick your season 1 instead. Ask yourself, what is the journey I'm actually on right now? Maybe you're starting over financially at 52 years old. Maybe you're learning to bake sourdough bread. Maybe you're planning on leaving your corporate job. Maybe you're trying to figure this YouTube thing itself. Whatever you are living right now is what you can talk about because you don't need expertise to document. You only need honesty. So your early videos, they almost write themselves. So talk about where you are right now. Talk about why you're starting. What pushed you to finally do this? Talk about what you're trying this month. And then come back and tell us how it went, including when it flops, especially when it flops. Because baby, let me tell you a secret about your viewers. They can find 1,000 experts up on the mountain. What they cannot find is somebody honest, walking the same road they're on, and even a few steps ahead of them, showing them the potholes in real time. So that's even rarer than expertise. That's what I watch for. And I bet that's what you watch for too. And if you want it even more concrete, here are episode ideas. You could film this week. Why am I starting this channel? And what I hope it becomes. The thing that I'm most scared about doing this. What I tried this month and what actually happened. The one aha moment that changed how I see this whole journey. Every one of those is a real video, and not one of them requires to be an expert at anything except your own life. And last time I checked, you are the leading authority on your own life. And the beautiful part, the camera becomes a witness instead of a judge. You're not performing mastery that you don't have. You're documenting a becoming that's actually happening. Nobody can tell you that you're doing this wrong because it's your season 1. That's not a script that you can fall behind on. And if you want to see what a season 1 looks like in real life, subscribe. You are literally inside mine right now. Move number 2. Now, if you are an expert and you've been doing your thing for years, you don't have a content problem either. You have a pattern problem, meaning you're sitting on patterns that you've never once thought of as content. So here's the one question that I promised you, the one that unlocks about 100 videos. What do the people who come to me keep getting wrong? Let me show you with my accountant that I mentioned from earlier. She's served small business owners for 15 years, right? So she has seen the same mistakes walk through her door over and over. Okay, the top 5 mistakes small business owners made with their books. That's not one video, that's a whole series. One mistake at a time. Then, how do you fix each of these mistakes? That's a second series. Then, how do you set yourself up so the mistake never happen again? Third series. And then what would you tell somebody just starting out so they never end up in the mess at all? A 4th series. So 4 series out of 1 question. Do the math with me and you know I love the math. 5 mistakes times what it is, how to fix it, how to prevent it, plus the beginner angle and the questions that people start asking in your comment section. So you're starting at about 100 videos and you haven't even opened a brainstorming app yet. It was all sitting in your appointment history the whole time. So your expertise is not what you know. Your expertise is the pattern that you've seen. And patterns, my friend, are bottomless content. Move number 3, and this one is personal because this is the actual fuel that I started my channel on. Turn your frustrations into teachable moments. Let me tell you what was frustrating me. When I was trying to level up online, I kept turning into the same wall. The good rooms, they were closed. The networks, the masterminds, everybody recommending each other. And the price of a seat in those rooms, $20,000, $30,000 a year, every time. Now listen, people can charge whatever they want. That's their business. But I didn't have that money yet. And I had a decision to make. Wait years to afford access to somebody else's room or bet on myself and build my own. You're sitting in my answer right now. But here's the rule that makes frustration useful. And I want you to write this down. Talk about the lesson, not the grievance, because a rant is useless. Y'all, a rant is just pain doing a monologue. Nobody leaves a rant with anything they can do. And I'm not interested in trauma bonding either, where we all sit down in circle and marinate in what went wrong. No, ma'am. I'm interested in solution bonding, action bonding. So when something in your industry frustrates you, run it through this question instead. What did I find out the hard way that I wish somebody had told me? Then teach that. Make it useful. My standard is 1% progress. If somebody watches my video, they should learn something they can act on today and get 1% better. Frustration plus usefulness, it equals authority. But frustration by itself is just noise with good lighting. And that's how frustration became my whole brand position. Honestly, I decided to be an advocate, the person who tells you the things I wish somebody had told me at a price that you can afford, which around here is free. And listen, I believe in paying for good coaching. I've paid for good coaching so good that if that person asked me for $20,000 tomorrow and I had it, I'd hand it over with a thank you card. But I also promised myself this: anything I learn on this road, from a course, from a coach, from a mistake that cost me money, I'm bringing it back here and sharing the lesson with you. That's the deal on this channel. I go find out the hard way so you don't have to. And move number 4, this is for everybody saying, okay, Webley, fine. I know what to talk about now, but I can't talk like those people that I follow online. Hear me on this one. Confidence is not the ticket in. Confidence is the prize for showing up. You watch these polished creators, articulate, captivating, never saying, and you think you have to arrive like that. Baby, nobody arrives like that. Maybe 1 or 2 people on this whole platform were born smooth on camera. The rest of them, they were awkward on video 1, a little less awkward on video 20, and decent by video 80. So you are watching their season 5 and comparing it to your season 1, and that comparison is robbing you. And by the way, I made a whole video about people selling confidence, about how confidence and connections are not the same thing as competence. Go watch it after this one. The same lessons runs the other direction too. You don't need to perform confidence to start. You need repetition. Let me give you my receipts on this one. I was invited on the Gary V podcast for their 100 episode anniversary. And afterward, I got to talk with Gary Vaynerchuk one-on-one. He told me I have a real radio voice, a show voice. And he asked me if I'd ever considered doing my own show. I have not stopped thinking about it since. But here's the part I need you to catch. That conversation only happened because I had already been showing up on camera, awkward, learning, doing my repetitions. The compliment didn't come to the woman waiting to feel ready. It came to the woman already talking. And when I think about where this road leads, I think about the women whose shows that I absolutely love. Michelle Obama's podcast, Kiki Palmer and her grit. Will I get to that level? I have zero doubt that I'm getting where I am going. Zero. But girl, to grow to any level, you have to start. Season 5 is built off of season 1. There is no other door in. Put it in your pocket now. 4 moves for the day that you cannot figure out what to talk about. Number 1, if you're not an expert yet, pick your season 1. Document the journey that you are already living, where you are, why you started, what you're trying, what flopped. Honesty matters more here over expertise. Number 2, if you're already an expert, mind your patterns. Ask, what do the people who come to me keep getting wrong? Mistakes, fixes, prevention, beginner advice. That's 100 videos hiding in your appointment book. Number 3, turn frustrations into teachable moments. What did I learn the hard way that I wish somebody told me? Teach the lesson. Skip the renting. 1% progress every single video. Number 4, leg the action, build the confidence. Repetition first, and then it gets smoother later. Nobody starts at season 5. And the line over all of it, you don't start at the finale, you start at season 1. Now, let me close the loop on that channel that sat empty for 10 years. For a long time, I told myself it was waiting for me to become an expert. It wasn't. It was waiting for me to stop auditioning for somebody else's show and start telling my own story. And I'll be honest with you about something. For most of my life, I did not fit in groups, the cliques, the networks, the rooms. I spent years reading that as rejection. And it took me a long time. And honestly, it took my faith to hear it differently. Maybe I kept not fitting in because I was never meant to join a lane. I was meant to build one. So trust the seed that was planted in you and run with it. So if you've been circling your own empty channel, waiting to feel expert enough, ready enough, polished enough, hear me, the channel doesn't need an expert. It needs a witness. Somebody willing to say, this is where I am. This is what I'm learning. Come walk with me. That's the show people watch. That's the show that you're watching right now. 10 years, I waited for a version of me that was never coming. And in 7 months of showing up, I built the one that did. So start your season one. The rest of the season can only come after it. Now, if this video just handed you your answer and you're ready to actually start, I built something for you and it's free. It's called Press, Record, Ready. It's a workbook that walks you through everything you need to set up before your first video, your phone, your storage, your first 5 decisions, so that when you sit down to record your episode 1, the tech part is already handled. The link is at the top of the description. And for those of you who don't know me, I'm Webley. I started over at 50 years old, rebooted a channel that sat empty for 10 years, and I'm building all of it out loud right here every single day. Now, I want you to tell me in the comments, and I read every single one of them, what is your season 1 about? One sentence. Are you starting over? Are you learning a new skill, a business you're building? Say it out loud, because the moment you name your season is the moment the show gets real. And if you want to watch season 1 happen in real time, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next episode.